girl Zarinah Elizabeth, and welcome back to my channel. We are continuing our series on side hustle. Before we get into this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave me in a comment in the box below. Let me know how things have been going. Have you looked into seriously considering any of the tips that I've offered so far, or any of the suggestions for side hustles that I've offered so far? If so, which ones? Let me know in the comment box below. And if you haven't already, sis, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Join the Girl Tribe. Over here we talk about everything love, life, and finances, and everything in between. I drop videos twice a week, every Thursday and Sundays, and sometimes on other days too. So make sure you smash the post notification bell so that you are in the know each and every time I drop a video. Let's go. So I found a few more suggestions that I want to offer you on how you can level up and how you can get your side hustle on and get to the bag, sis. This is what we are talking about, how we can get to the bag. This channel is all about leveling up, and we are doing that mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially, okay? So I have a few more that I want to share with you all this week, and let's go ahead and get into it. The first one is going to be becoming a notary. If you haven't already heard of a notary is that person that you go to when there is a formal document that needs to be executed that you can't sign by yourself without someone official being present, and then they put that little stamp on there. If there's so many times that people need notaries, especially in those like emergency situations, it's a weekend, it's a, sometime where the banks are closed, or they just aren't able to get to someone to notarize their document. If you are a mobile notary, and you make yourself available in those off-peak hours, if you are going to someone, you are able to charge for your commute to them. You can charge for the fact that it's an emergency. You can kind of maximize and play on all of the things that businesses do when it comes to you having a service that is needed. Myself, for example, I had to get some document notarized. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like in the middle of the night that I needed. Actually, it was for it was for an application that I was doing, and in this application, I didn't realize. First of all, it was time sensitive. The application. I thought I had all my documents put together. I thought I was good to go. I'm doing a final once over. This is in the evening, and I didn't realize that there was a document that needed to be notarized. It was in the evening. What was I going to do? So I looked online. I Googled some, notary, emergency notary kind of thing, and I came across an app that you can have someone notarize you through FaceTime, and I think I paid upwards of like $70, something that's free if I went to my bank. If I had been aware that this document needed to be notarized, I could have just went to my bank and had it done for free. But because it was an emergency situation, I paid $75 to have this notary done. And people do this all the time. So if you are a notary, or maybe thinking of being a notary and just didn't realize how much you could stand to gain, most notaries are making $2,000 to $4,000 a month just doing notary. Now, of course, you can up the ante and you can become a signing agent, and you can, really play this out and make a business out of it. So there's a lot of different things that you could do as being a notary. So that is definitely something that you can consider that could actually bring in a lot of extra income to you, create a whole new stream of revenue, and you can make a pretty good bag from it. So that is my first suggestion for you today in this video. Next one, number 2, that we are going to talk about is becoming an online teacher or an online tutor. So years ago, I forget the name of this site, and it's still a popular one today, but you had to have a degree to actually become an online teacher. And it was like to teach English to other countries, like Asian children, or children from other parts of the world. But this is your your first language. You know how to speak it, but you needed to have a degree. Well, I found a website called OutSchool, where you don't need to have a degree to teach. You just need to have knowledge in whatever you want to have knowledge in, or whatever you have knowledge in. And then you just have to have no criminal background. So sis, if you don't have a criminal background and you have something that you're pretty good at and you're knowledgeable in, you could become an online teacher or an online tutor, and you can generate a pretty cool bag in your own free time. If you like working with other people, if you like teaching, if you feel like, maybe teaching was your calling, but you just didn't want to go into teaching because it wasn't going to be beneficial to you financially, maybe you could still put yourself in a position to teach and be helpful to others, and it just be some additional income for you that you're doing on your free time. And most likely it's going to be kids, in other countries, so it'll work with your time, because their time is not our time. So that is something else that you could think about doing to get to the bag. And from what my research finds is that you could be earning $1,000 to $2,000 in your free time just teaching other people stuff you already know, like English. All right, or maybe art, or anything that you're already good at is something that you would be able to teach someone else and be able to earn an additional income each month. Number 3, have you ever thought about starting a blog? If you're a YouTuber like myself, it's very similar. It's just that it is in written form. So where we video blog or video log our whatever in our specific niche, you would do the same thing but in written format. So if you like to write, you could write about a specific niche, whether that is finances, whether that is maybe organization and maybe decluttering, maybe it's cooking, maybe it is family, parenthood, some money making niche you would want to, so that you could actually make a bag. You want it to be a money making niche, and then you can create a blog where, from there, running a blog does take some work. So it's not going to be anywhere near what you would consider passive income. It does need to be something that you're interested in, that you're going to dedicate time to. Just like with YouTube, if you're a YouTuber, it's not passive at all. You're going to have to put some work in, some elbow grease in, and you're going to have to, figure things out. But if you're willing to do that, a successful blog can earn you a very nice bag if you know what you're doing and you know how to set it off right. So if you like to write and you're knowledgeable in certain content, or you're passionate about certain content and want to share what you know or what you're doing in that specific niche that you think other people would be interested in, start a blog, girl. I actually started off as a blogger. Before YouTube was a thing, I had 2 different blogs that I really enjoyed, because I've always enjoyed writing, as I shared with you all previously, and maybe I think it was like one of my get to know me videos. I was a writer. I wrote poetry, I wrote songs, and just in general short stories. I just love to read and I love to write, and so I always like to do blogs, and my blog was more so about relationships and, you know, almost like a life coach of sorts, because a lot of my friends and family, those that are close to me, they always like to come to me for my opinion and, you know, I guess check with me for insight or maybe things that they hadn't thought about. And so it was almost like that kind of blog, whether it be relationships, whether it be an advice kind of column kind of thing. That's what I did. And so, you know, even for me, it may be worthwhile for me to consider that part of myself again and start a blog, you know, maybe an extension of YouTube, but back in word form. Definitely something for us all to think about. Number 4, have you ever thought about publishing low content books? You can do this very easily through Amazon KDP. And when I mean low content books, I'm talking about maybe self-guided journals, maybe just notebooks, just, you know, maybe with just the lines or the grids. Maybe it could be little recipe books. Maybe it could be coloring books, you know, very low content books that you could create and sell through Amazon KDP. And with Amazon KDP, you can design everything right through their service. They will ship and they will print and ship your book for you. And you just reap the rewards. And, you know, if you do a good enough book, you can reap a very good reward. With, you know, minimal effort, especially when we're talking about low content. So you're not writing a novel, you're just creating a journal. And if you're someone like me who, you know, I like to write, I like to doodle, I need to, you know, write down my thoughts and my ideas, I always have some sort of book with me. And, you know, today it just happens to be a little composition book, but I like, you know, cute little journals, and I have several of them, and some of them I haven't even written in yet, but if I see one, I'll buy it because I just like it. And so just a journal with no words, just lined paper and a nice binder, you know, a nice cover or something like that is all it takes for somebody like me to want to buy it. And, you know, it's so little effort on your part. And so maybe with, you know, some help from Canva on the design and, you know, just you figuring out what it is, what kind of low content book you want to make, you can make a really good bag. Just think about it, sis. That's all I'm saying. And number 5 is going to be real estate. So this is my background, this is my baby, and real estate is something that I say is going to be, you know, what I use to retire myself. So if you have any questions about real estate, you could always, you know, feel free to drop it in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. However, have you ever thought about jumping in the real estate game? So you don't necessarily need to be a realtor if that's not something that you want to do, but, you know, maybe you can start off by, you know, creating a roommate situation. Some people, you know, they don't want to necessarily be in real estate. They don't want that pressure of it, but, you know, maybe home sharing is your thing, and that's technically is still, you know, within the real estate umbrella. So maybe think about renting rooms out of your home if you're comfortable with something like that. But if not, maybe just go all in. Now, I've been trying to focus on, you know, ideas that require little to no money but big reward. But if we're going to talk about real estate, you know, there are ways to get in real estate and do it for little to no money, because you can buy FHA and you can put down zero. You don't have to put down any money. You can get your closing costs paid for. So there are ways to buy property without actually coming out of your pocket for anything. So this is still a way that you can get into the real estate game without putting much money into it. But you know, if we're talking about maybe like on the investment side, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. But if that's something that you're interested in, you should know, and you probably already do know, that real estate is definitely something worth getting into, whether it be as an agent where you're selling homes, or whether it be more on the investment side where you are flipping homes. Definitely something to get into. But that concludes my video for you all today. Those were my 5 tips, my 5 suggestions on getting to the bag fast. Let me know what you thought about today's video, and if there's any one of these ideas that you think is worth your while with getting started with, let me know that too in the comment box below. If you have any other questions, if you have any other suggestions, if there hasn't been a gig or a side hustle that I haven't mentioned that you think is worthwhile, worth me mentioning to the Girl Tribe, make sure you leave that in the comment box below as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.